Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you are having a fantastically awesome day so far. My day is going pretty good. Kat, my missus, is on the mend. For those of you who don't know, she tested positive for COVID on Saturday. So that's 3 of us now. Leia had it, gave it to me. I'm a loving husband, gave it to my missus. And so far, Garen is the only one who's been unscathed. But yeah, this time it hit Kat pretty hard. So I've been trying to pick up the slack and help out as much as I can around the house and get things done. And when there's one of you doing it, because usually we split things 50-50, but when it's 100%, it's amazing how much time it actually takes out of your day. So I do apologize for the lack of upload. But like I say, she's on the mend now. So hopefully, I'm not even going to jinx it. Hopefully things go better. But I've been nursing her the whole week. Unfortunately, the nurse's outfit didn't suit me quite as well as I thought it would. I just don't have the ass for it. My booty's a bit too flat. I've got to sort that out, do some squats or something so I could pull off that nurse outfit a bit better, eh? Just joking. Anyway, today we are reacting to spicy Cajun pork loin sandwiches, and that is because I love pork loin. I cook a pretty mean pork loin, to be honest with you, but I'm sure Malcolm is going to teach us how to make it even better, because sometimes what will happen is I'll be distracted or something will happen, and every now and then, it doesn't happen often, but every now and then it'll come out drier than an old boot. And I'm like, what did I do different from last time? But it happens sometimes. So I'm hoping Malcolm can shed some light on this whole thing. Also, I'm going to be trying it again soon because Scott sent me a package full of awesome spices from America that I am chomping at the bit to try. So yeah, I'm going to be trying that out soon. Anyway, before we get into today's video, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra frisky, you may as well give the video a like as well. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page and a Patreon page linked down in the description if you want to help support the channel. That'd be freaking awesome. And without further ado, let's check out this spicy Cajun pork loin sandwiches.
Welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Check it out, y'all. I have got a regular old pork loin today. Everybody's seen these. We've all cooked them. I found this one at Kroger. They had them on sale for $1.99 a pound. This one weighed 5 pounds, so that was $10. And it's going to feed a lot of people.
$10, $10 for that is not bad, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how old this video is, but that would feed all of us, plus Kat's family if they came over. That's pretty decent for that chunk of meat. That's a big chunk of meat. Pork is getting so expensive here, though. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments how the meat prices are going in wherever you are, because I don't know what the hell I'm going to eat soon. Pork is going up. Chicken is outrageous at the moment. Chicken used to be the cheapest meat you could get, and it's outrageous. And I love my chicken. I love chicken. So some of my chickens in the back garden, they better start being careful because I'm going to start chewing on them. But I've got Ayam Chimanis, which have dark black flesh, and I'm like, I'll give anything a try. I'm not sure the rest of the family will be willing to eat like pitch black meat that looks burnt. So yeah, anyway, sorry.
Instead of just doing a regular pork loin recipe today, I'm going to do something a little special. It's going to be a Cajun pork loin sandwich. I'm going to show you what I do to turn this regular old pork loin into a really good piece of meat. It's going to feed a lot of people. Let's get to cooking. And I want to talk a little bit about this pork loin. Now, you'll see, when I took this one out of the package, it had this nice fat cap on it. There wasn't any silver skin. And I thought to myself, hey, I'm going to leave this fat on today because I know
fat is flavor. Yes,
sir. A little bit higher temp.
The first person I ever heard say that is the knobhead Gordon Ramsay. I can't stand Gordon Ramsay, but Malcolm says it quite often, and I completely agree. I don't take the fat off of anything if I'm cooking it. I love fat.
So it's going to render down, and that's going to give me a nice little crust on the outside to go with that lean pork that's underneath. But to help that fat render a little bit, I'm going to take a knife and I'm just going to make some score marks in it, a lot like we would on the fat cap of a pork butt. And I'm just spacing these cuts out maybe about 1 inch, not going deep into the meat, just right through that fat layer that's on top. It's going to help it as it cooks to open up a little bit, let it get a head start rendering where those slits are. Some flavors are going to get down in there from the seasoning, and it's going to be really good. Now, once you get slits made in one direction, go ahead and turn your pan and do the same thing back down the other side.
Make them diamonds.
Keep a nice little angle going, about 1 inch apart, not too deep. And once we get our score pattern worked out, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. And this is where I'm going to start with my flavor. First thing I'm going to do is add a little binder to it. Today, I'm using a Creole mustard. Now, I picked this Creole mustard to go along with kind of those Louisiana flavors. I like the sharpness of it.
I'm sure I can get that mustard. It's not called Creole mustard yet. For the life of me, I cannot remember what it's called. I was looking at it. It's that one with the seeds in. I actually think we got some in the fridge. I'm not sure it's 100% the same, but I'm sure I'll get away with it.
Of it. It gives the pork some texture, and mustard goes great with pork. You can use it all the time. You see me do it on pork butts with just plain yellow mustard. I'm just using my hand and rubbing this Creole mustard in. Now for our seasoning, I've got some of my King Crawl. You could use whatever Cajun season you like. I'm getting a pretty good dose of it because it can take it. And I've been cooking pork loins for a long time. A lot of times we'll cut them up into steaks, use them for all different kind of ways. This one's going to be extra special because I'm jazzing it up with all these Louisiana flavors. So the bottom side is well seasoned. Now it's time to work on the top. I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put down a line or so of this Creole mustard. Let it get in those cracks, those score marks, down the edges of course. So I'm going a little heavier than I normally would with a binder, but this Creole mustard with the graininess of it is gonna really give it some nice texture as it cooks down. It's gonna give that rub something to stick to. We're going right back with our Cajun King Crawl.
Getting a bit
right over the top. Good dose.
Frisky with that meat.
The sides really well down. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I got the outside looking good. The seasoning's sticking to it. I can see the coarseness of that mustard. We're ready to put some moisture and some flavor on the inside. Now I've got a Cajun injection I've been working on. If you wanted to buy one from the store, get you one of those Tony's Creole butters. You could use whatever you like. I'm just gonna go down through the top about halfway, and as I pull out, I'm gonna squeeze.
It's something I've never really done, apart from if we had like a pig on the spit in South Africa, we had injected, but I've never really injected like marinades or whatever you want to call it into the meat. I really, really want to though. I can only imagine what, like, I would experiment with everything, man. I would try and get everything into that meat to see what it tastes like. Not at the same time, obviously, but I've never done, I really need to start experimenting more. I think sometimes I'm a bit cautious. I don't want to experiment too much in case the rest of the family don't like it, because I know if I mess up, unless it's really, really terrible, I'll still eat it. But I know the kids, if it's quite bad, and kids have no filter, they'll tell you, hey dad, this is crap, mate. So yeah, I really need to experiment a bit more.
Let it pop out. Move over about an inch and do the same thing. Pull it out, squeeze it in. We're going to pump it up. And I'm going to put as much of this injection as it'll take. If it'll hold 2 cups, it's going to get 2 cups. Pork loin's really neutral. It's a bland piece of meat, doesn't have a lot of interior fat. So we're putting all those flavors in it with the seasonings on the outside, leaving that fat cap on, and pumping it full of goodness. It's done added, I know, another pound of this pork loin. It started out 5 pounds. Heck, we might have 6.5. That's going to feed a lot of hungry friends right there. I have just about put 16 ounces in this pork loin. I know it's got some flavor. You'll see it's got a little moisture on top. I'm okay with that. What I'm actually going to do is take my hand, just gently
there he goes, patting his meat again.
On the top, but I don't care if it's a little moist, a little wet. Kind of like that. So I know there's
do you pat your meat
like that regular pork loin we started with. I cross-cut those hatches in it so the fat would open up so it could render. Smothered it with some of that Creole mustard. Hit it with the King Crawl. We got flavor on the outside. Tons of it. Then we shot it up with 16 ounces of injection. All we need is some pecan smoke. Get this dude up to temp. It's going to be time to build some sandwiches. Let's get it on.
Sandwiches.
So I've got my Traeger running here, 275 degrees. I want to cook it a little bit hot.
One of the hardware shops local to us has started selling Traegers. How about that? I was gutted because I couldn't find them anywhere apart from online. And it's like a hardware store, I suppose. They sell a bit of everything in there. They sell beehives, everything you can, not with bees, like the frames and everything, but they've started selling those Traegers. So I need to save up my pennies because I definitely want one. They are amazing. I haven't had a proper look because I only went in there. When did I go in there? Was it last week? I went in there last week. I can't even remember what I went in. Was it last week? It might have been this week after dropping Garen at hockey. I went in for something stupid and small. It was literally in and out. Never mind. I don't know. I'm digressing here. Sorry. What the hell did I go in for? I'm getting old.
So that cap can get crispy. Also, I'm going to hit a little bit extra Cajun seasoning right over the top where I touched it. I don't want any fingerprints. I ain't scared to season some meat. That's going to dry out. It's going to make a nice little crust. That fat's going to melt. It's going to be juicy. I can't wait to try this one. Let's get the lid closed. So while
I went in for wood pellets for the kitty litter. It's very, very good tip I've got here. If you guys are spending a fortune on cat litter for your cats, if you've got cats, they sell those little wood pellets that for burning in that hardware store. It's like €6 for a 20-kilo bag, and I use that for cat litter, and it's awesome. It doesn't smell, it's really absorbent, whereas the kitty litter here is so expensive. It's like €5 for a little 5-kilo bag. So yeah, that's what I went in for. Sorry, it was bugging me.
The pork loin's over in the pecan smoke getting happy. I'm going to go ahead and put together my coleslaw I'm using for the sandwich. I'm starting with 1 bag of a coleslaw mix. It's just shredded cabbage and carrots. Then I took a sweet onion and sliced it super thin.
You're a sweet onion, mate.
Half circles. This is what makes this slaw
I
so
love
good.
onions.
I came up with this creamy Creole dressing that's going right on top. Had to have some of that Blue Plate Louisiana mayonnaise, but I added that same Creole mustard that we put on the outside. It's got some sugar in it to sweeten it up, a little red wine vinegar, and some salt and pepper. It's going right on top. Just get the slaw coated. Now I just want to put some plastic wrap over it. Let it sit in the refrigerator. Let everything get tender. Let it get happy. Pork loin will be done in a couple hours. It's going to be right on time. And before I forget, I want to put an internal probe in this pork loin because you don't want to mess one of these up. You can easily dry them out by overshooting the temp. So what I'm doing, I'm using one.
That's what I said, man. I do a good pork loin, and then sometimes, every now and then, it is just so dry. Oops, sorry, I spat everywhere. It's just so dry, and I have no idea why. Did I spit on the camera lens? I hope not. If you've got a bit of spit, I'm sorry. I'm actually getting hungry. Cat makes a mean coleslaw.
Dead center. I want to go in about halfway. And right now, we're still setting, about 77, 78 degrees. It hasn't been on long. But this lets me watch it. You hear it beeping. Y'all know the drill now. That means we are done. Check that out. We got that nice crust on top. We done laid down some of that little fat cap we had. I stopped it at 135 because I know it's going to carry over. So I got the pork loin over here on the cutting board, and I'm just going to let it hang out. It needs at least 15 minutes. You can even go 20 or 30 minutes if you wanted to. But what that does, it lets that carryover happen, and it's going to be just the right temperature, about 142, 143, and that's where you want to eat pork loin. And I got to try a little bit of this crispy fat.
Oh, I would do the same thing.
Y'all didn't see that?
That
fat's good, y'all.
I love the scar.
That's about as long as I can stand. It's time for my favorite part of the day. That's going to be
come on, let's see.
Building a big old sandwich. Let's see how we did. I'm going to try to keep these slices on the thin side because my thinking is I want to stack it up on the sandwich. Oh, that's beautiful. And build this monstrous jumbo Cajun pork loin sandwich. So if I keep it thin,
oh my God, look at the juice.
Look at that juice oozing out.
I said that, Malcolm.
Beautiful color on it. A little bit of a smoke ring. I got that little rim of almost crackling-y pork fat on top before I get too far.
Malcolm, if you ever see these videos, mate, please, when I'm in the States, please invite me for a barbecue, mate. I love the way you cook. Your food even the alligator that he cooked looked amazing. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it up here somewhere.
Or I'm going to make sure it is Fat Boy approved.
Fat Boy approved. I love it.
Oh, son. Ooh. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm keeping it thin to win. The flavor was phenomenal. I get the spiciness, but it's got this little crunch on top from where that fat cap crisped up. A lot of times I'll trim that off, but on this one I wanted to try it different, see if it would get it crispy by cooking it at 275, and it did the job. But now that I got it cut up, let me show you how we're going to take it to that next level.
It would be hilarious if you just whacked it all on one roll.
I got some of these jumbo burger buns. I just popped them under the broiler for a few minutes to toast them so they don't get soggy. I'm going to start up with some Louisiana, New Orleans own Blue Plate mayonnaise. Y'all know I like the Blue Plate. Just get you a knife and kind of swirl it on. And then come on with some of these spicy garlic pickles. They got a little sweetness to them to offset that heat. And now, let's put on the star of the show, some of this pork loin. I'm thinking we're going to go, I don't know, what do y'all think? 4?
Yeah, 4.
That was thin. Let's go 5 of one of those.
Yes.
Right there.
You have to.
Start on the sandwich.
Good start.
Creole mustard slaw that I had in the refrigerator. You can see the grains of that mustard in it. It's going to have a little pop itself, but it's not hot. Put that top bun action on.
Oh.
Now, would you look at that? That's what I call a Cajun pork loin sandwich right there. That's a thing. It's almost too pretty to eat, but I'm going to. I think I'm going to cut it in half. We'll do the OTV open up. Y'all can see what that double stack looks like. Look at that. Bite time, y'all. Oh, this is the best part.
Have you ever eaten a sandwich that's given you meat sweats? That's unbelievable. There's so much meat on there. It looks so good. Oh, man. I don't know. I would like to have some hot sauce on one of them as well. One half, maybe.
$20. That's $20 sandwich all day long. Little housekeeping.
That's true, isn't it?
Up just a second. Really wanting to go back in. All right, so I'm telling y'all, I took this $10 pork loin, turned it into at least a $20 sandwich, and what do y'all think? I could probably make at least 8 big sandwiches out of
Yeah,
this. So
10. 10 if you don't use 5 pieces per sandwich.
Hey, it's easy to do. It had the injection to get its flavor on the inside, the Creole mustard with the Cajun seasoning on the outside. Took about 2 hours on the pit. Then I took it off, let it rest for about 15-20 minutes, sliced it up thin, and built this big old sandwich. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me here today at How to Barbecue Right. Y'all got to give this pork loin a try. It's a winner.
I will be,
Like
mate.
what we're
I
doing.
will be.
Subscribe to that channel. You can also find
Subscribe long ago. I subscribed long ago, Malcolm. I've got to try some different style of pork loin recipes because it's an awesome piece of meat if you do something nice with it, which sometimes I don't do. Like sometimes I'll just completely mess it up, like I say. But that, like he said, he turned it into a $20 sandwich, which gives you that little, sometimes you're like, maybe, you know, set up a little business here in Slovakia, because I tell you what, stuff like this would go down a treat. I think people would go nuts for it, to be honest with you. And I struggled to find like a good burger here. We went out, flipping heck, when was it? I can't remember when it was, but it was quite local to us. It's the only place I'll have a burger at the moment, because I've tried burgers in all the restaurants around here and none of them have hit the mark. And this one place makes them homemade burgers and they are freaking phenomenal. But yeah, I can't remember when it was. My memory has gone to pot, to be honest. The last few weeks are an absolute blur for me. The amount of crap that's gone wrong. So I'm hoping now that September is done and dusted, October will be a better month for the Graham household. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I can't believe I've turned this into a 17-minute video. I do apologize. But yeah, have an amazing day. Don't forget to hug a loved one. Seriously, do it. Go now. Just stand up and hug your missus or your mister or your kids or someone. Just give them a hug. It'll brighten their day and it'll brighten yours as well. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.